let's talk about asexuality and fatphobia. This was me as a kid. I was fat. Now, I can hear you saying, no, you weren't fat. Don't call yourself fat. You have to be kinder to yourself. Look, my family nickname growing up was Pillsbury. I was fat. And we'll get back to that response of yours later. Oh, here's me again, still fat. And I'm clearly shocked that I'm fat. I spent my childhood in a little fat body, being reminded all the time by other kids and even my family that I was fat, having little fat feelings about it and wishing I wasn't in any way, shape, or form fat. Adult me is still fat, taller, but still fat. And if you're saying to yourself, no, you're not fat, don't call yourself fat, you have to be kinder to yourself. Look, I'm still fat. And we're still going to talk about that response. Being fat has influenced more than just the discomfort I feel when there are no cute pants in my size when I go shopping. Only the pleated front khakis. Ugh, homophobic. Being fat has also shaped the way I experience my asexuality. I came out as asexual when I was 41 years old. So up until that point, everything that I thought about myself as a sexual person was shaped by the absence of asexuality. I saw myself as a broken person, and maybe not like entirely broken, but broken in the sexuality parts. And because we like to assign some sort of blame to the things that go wrong in our lives, and at least I am prone to blaming myself for things that go wrong in my life. For most of my adult experience, I blamed my fat body for what was broken in my sexuality. You don't feel desire? It's because you're fat. You don't want to have sex with people? It's because you're fat. Your body doesn't respond to cuddling or touch in the way you think it's supposed to? It's because you're fat. And I wasn't alone in believing these things. I was hearing this from other people too. I would hear this from men I was interested in dating. I would be talking to someone and be having a really great conversation, and we would be connecting, and I would share, I should probably tell you I'm asexual. And I'd get responses like,
"Oh, is that because you can't get any?"
Or,
"Oh, is it because you're big, right?"
Or, yeah, because, you're...
Look at you.
I'd hear these things in person and online, and let me tell you, it's devastating. Having the outside world reinforce the negative thoughts you have about yourself just makes those negative thoughts burrow in deeper. And, it convinces you you're right. Fatphobia tells us that fat bodies are broken bodies. If you're fat, there's either something broken with the mechanics of your body that's making it fat, or there's something broken in your brain or your heart that's allowing you to let your body become fat. Whatever the case, something is broken because bodies aren't fat. Bodies are supposed to be thin and beautiful. And if you fix what's broken, if you're lucky, then your fat body will become a thin body because that's what your body wants. Your body doesn't want to be fat. It doesn't want to be you. Sound familiar, ace friends? We're told the exact same things about our asexuality. Maybe our body is broken. Maybe our brains and our hearts are broken. But something is broken because bodies don't want to be ace. The world doesn't want to be ace. Both things, fatness and aceness, are attributed to some internal brokenness. So of course the world would believe that those two things are intertwined, that they cause each other, that they can spring up together, that aceness and fatness are like siblings in brokenness. Or maybe it's the other way around. So I've been told this before, in that most inclusive and most supportive of digital spaces,
gay dating apps.
I was chatting with a guy once and I told him I was asexual, and he replied, "Oh yeah, that's his thought process. I'm asexual, and that means I don't want sex. And I don't think it's enough to just tell someone I don't want sex. I need to do something more bold, something more concrete. So I am going to make myself fat in order to become so deeply undesirable that no one is going to want to touch me. I'm fat to protect me from telling aloe people no. Or maybe his assumption was that I was doing it as a public service. If I know I'm asexual and I don't want sex, then I'd be rude to inhabit a desirable body and turn on some unsuspecting aloe man. They don't deserve that. So to protect them, I made my body a fat body, so they'd never have to endure the horror of being attracted to someone asexual. They could just be, repulsed by my fat body and move on with their lives. How benevolent of me. I blocked him, so I really couldn't ask him which one he meant. Asexuality and fatness intersect at desirability, too. We are expected to inhabit bodies that maximize our desirability to men. No need to be coy. Our societies aren't built around what women or trans men or non-binary people find desirable. Society cares about what cis men desire. Straight cis men and queer cis men. Because cis men, according to society, are owed objects of desire. So if you're part of the target market for a cis man's desirability, you better put a decent package together. And you better be willing to make good on that package. Don't advertise the features if they don't come with the base model. Being ace is an affront to the system of desirability. Being ace is not written on your skin. If you're ace and have the audacity to be physically attractive, you've set a desirability trap. Be desirable and not be attainable. Jail, jail, prison, and jail. To play by the rules of the system that centers men's desire, if you're ace, you have to render yourself undesirable. And what better way to do that? Make yourself fat. Ace and fat, your untouchable body is rendered invisible. Problem solved. This is the part of the video where you would expect me to say that I've overcome all of that. You'd expect me here to say that I've learned to love this ace and fat body. You'd be wrong. I sometimes love this body for being fat. I sometimes love this body for being ace. I sometimes love those two things at the same time. But most of the time, I struggle. This world doesn't make it easy to love your body for being fat. And it absolutely doesn't help you love your body for being ace. The world wants you to change both of those truths about your body, or it wants you to render your body invisible so it doesn't have to think about it or you. And the world absolutely doesn't want you to be proud of your fat ace body. Pride is really loud. Pride takes up space. And, don't you take up enough space already, says the world. In her book, The Body Is Not an Apology, Sonya Renee Taylor explores the ways in which we fight inequity and oppression in ourselves and in the world in order to love our bodies more fully. And in the book, she introduces something called the 3 pieces. And she offers these pieces as a way to move toward radical self-love of our bodies at any size. They're also tools that I use now to reckon with my own aceness, and to reckon with the intersection of my fatness and my aceness, and what those two things make of me as a human being. I want to make peace with my body as a fat body. I want to make peace with my body as an ace body, and I absolutely want to make peace with my body as one that is fat and ace at the same time. Here are the 3 pieces. Piece 1, I make peace with not understanding. Piece 2, I make peace with difference. Piece 3, I make peace with this body. In the first piece, we reckon with not understanding why we inhabit the body we inhabit. We make peace with not understanding why the world responds to our bodies the way it does. We make peace with not understanding why the people we love can't fully reckon and love our bodies for what they are and how they move through the world. In the second piece, we reckon with difference. We make peace with the fact that a fat body is different from other bodies. That our body in all of its ways, all of its physical ways, are different from other bodies. And we reckon with the fact that being ace makes our body different. And that difference isn't better or worse, it's just different. And finally, hopefully, we make peace with this body. We try to make peace with what it is, what space it takes up, what it wants, what it doesn't, what it means to other people, what it means to us, and what it means ultimately to the world. We try to make peace with it, to love it. As promised, we're getting back to your no, no, no response. I get why you would want me not to call this kid fat. I get why you would not want me to call my adult self fat. You don't want me to call myself fat because you see it as being unkind to myself. You see it that way because you think being fat is something bad in the world. But calling my body what it is, not pretending it's something it's not, and letting my fat body take up space is a kindness. In fact, I think it is the greatest kindness. Just as it is a kindness to proudly call myself ace, no matter what people say or think about it. And I'm working on being more kind to myself. My big, fat ace self.